Over the past few days, I've been tagged several times in the TSA dog handler video, and I have not made a public comment on it, but I'm going to make a public comment here. The video, I've watched it over and over again. I sent it to some of my friends who are dog handlers. I sent it to my wife who looked at it, who's a very positive dog trainer, dog handler. And I think this thing has spiraled out of control. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you some clips from the video here so you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen it, you're probably living under a rock. Things have a way of becoming very, very viral because we live in an instant gratification society. That means as soon as I see it, I can post it on the internet, I can create judgment, and I cast aspersions on somebody that I don't know. Now, I watched the video, and I would say that the video was sloppy handling, but not malicious. I would say that the handler was not using a lot of finesse, but was he abusive to the dog? And I would say no. Now, let's take a couple of things in consideration. One, it's a very large man handling a very powerful dog. It's a German short-haired pointer. From what it looks like in the video, I can't see. It's a cell phone video that some guy shot sitting up, off a balcony watching this. Now, what's interesting here is if you saw somebody abusing a dog, wouldn't you say something then and there? Because if I saw somebody abusing a dog, my first step, I would go up to them and confront them and say something. Then I would find their supervisor and say something. But the fact that the person didn't do that, the fact that the person took out their cell phone, videotaped it, and in this person's opinion, allowed this abuse to continue. So if you're videotaping somebody beating up a child, why aren't you doing something about it? Why didn't you call the police at that moment? Because this is your 5 minutes of fame. And just like every trainer who's commented, in the news media has gotten more fame, and that's what everybody's looking for, I'm staying here on my platform and giving you my opinion. So now here we have a person handling a dog, a powerful dog, like a German short-haired pointer, on slippery surface using a harness. So the dog is pulling, the dog is on a slippery floor, the handler is pulling the dog back, pulling the dog forward, never lifting the dog off the ground. By the way, dog was never hit, kicked, kneed, manhandled, or anything. The dog was simply being led back and forth on a harness. And the floor is slippery, so it looks really crazy. It looks like the dog is sliding and slipping and whatever, because that is what happens on slippery surfaces with dogs, which is why a lot of dogs have issues with slippery surfaces. Not because they were abused on slippery surfaces, but because they don't have sure footing and they weren't exposed properly. So the video shows this person walking back and forth in maybe, 10 paces, turning, walking 10 paces, turning, and he's pulling the dog with him. People are walking by him. Nobody stopped him. Nobody seemed to confront him about anything. Nobody called an authority or anything. But the problem here is everyone gets on this keyboard bandwagon and starts to criticize the person. Now, this guy's probably having a hard day. This is what we have to get to the bottom of. Is his behavior aggressive and damaging to the dog? Is he causing pain? Is he causing suffering to this dog, physically or emotionally? Either one. And I would say, no, he's not handling the dog properly, maybe to the standards that the TSA has put into place. But this is a training issue. This is not an abuse issue. The person needs to go back, needs to have some more training done, and that's it. And the TSA is certainly not taking a side, because we sent a message to TSA and they sent back a blanket answer that he's been removed. And the quote was, "I'm sorry you had to look at something so abusive." I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. If this is the most abusive thing you're going to look at today, then I feel really happy for you, because it's not that bad. Would I do it this way? Probably not. Would I fault the guy for doing it this way? Possibly. Would I criticize him and tell him he's being abusive? No. Basically, back to training, back to the basics, and that's about it. Now, when I see comments on here that says a TSA canine handler is under investigation after a video captured him aggressively pulling his dog. The words like aggressive, abusive need to be put into check, because calling this aggressive does not allow us to use the word aggressive or abusive when it is truly the case. If you see somebody abusing a dog, say something immediately. Don't do a video and then post it and get your viral attention. That's really bad. So whether you agree with my opinion or not, I'd like you to hear it. I'd like you to hear me say these words very, very clearly. The video I saw of the TSA handler handling this dog was sloppy, but in no way was it abusive or aggressive. Those are really harsh terms that should be used only in situations where there is truly abuse and truly aggressive handling. This was sloppy, wasn't well done, but in no way do I see a person who is really abusing a dog. I wish a lot of luck to the TSA handler who is in this video. I hope you get some more training, but I'll tell you honestly, like I said, sloppy handling. Abusive? No. Training your dog doesn't need to be complicated. In fact, it should be fun. When training is fun for both you and your dog succeeds and you enjoy training. That is what I've developed into my online dog training. Whether you're looking for advanced problem solving, some basic obedience, or competitive obedience and tricks, whether you're dealing with aggression, problem solving like jumping on people, leash pulling, or anything else, my online dog training covers exactly that. There are more than 170 lessons, more than 60 hours of instruction designed to help you better understand your dog and solve the problems that plague you now. Join the thousands of people who have developed a better relationship with their dog through my online dog training.